This week started out with a worship night at church, and although I was blessed by Aaron Boyd's songs, his heart, and his lyrics, I think I was most blessed to hear our own Josh Parmenter playing the instrument he started on, the violin. It's been a while since I've done a road construction update, so for the past 2 weeks the intersection's been turned into a temporary, functional roundabout while they tear up and work on the center of the intersection. It's been wild to find out how many people in Castle Rock still have no idea how to navigate a roundabout. Well, anyway, this week they completed the center of the intersection, and so we're back to a normal intersection. It's not complete yet, but at least the roundabout is gone. Tuesday night it was back to the press box one last time. This week I was tabulating for the 2A, 3A, 4A Denver Metro Regionals competition. Here's a fun fact for you. By the time the drum majors are called out for the award ceremony, all of the judges have left the stadium. I mean, all the scores are in and the announcer has the details of who the winners are and what their scores are, so why not beat the traffic? And as soon as the drum majors are dismissed, then the tabulator releases the scores and recordings to the school, so I can still get to my car and beat the traffic out of the lot too. Then on Wednesday, my mom had cataract surgery on her left eye, and so I got to be the designated driver to get her home and also to her ophthalmologist appointments too.
I recently read To Kill a Shadow by Katherine Quinn, and it was in some ways pretty similar to the things I generally read. It was YA fantasy, multiple perspectives. You've got a young woman who's been trained as a warrior, and she takes her brother's place to go and join the knights. This world is one where the sun has failed, and so they're trying to come up with a way to restore the sun to her place in the sky. It was just a little bit darker, both literally and figuratively, and a little bit more violent than I was expecting. I liked the story, I liked the characters. It was definitely just a little bit more brutal. So if you're looking for a YA fantasy with definitely an interesting background, but one that is, you're not thrown off by a little bit more violence than you usually get in YA, you might enjoy it. I definitely like the characters, and I'll read the second book. So, To Kill a Shadow.
On Thursday, my friend Mike Volley and I started working towards my trunk or treat costume. We used this facial impression putty to make an impression of my face. With a conveniently placed breathing mouthpiece, I sat with my face in the putty for about 10 minutes. Then I carefully released my face from the putty to make a good impression. Then, just before I left, Mike poured a plaster compound into the impression to have a good duplicate of my face to work on. Make sure to come back in a couple of weeks to see the final results of this process.
A book that I read recently is called The 6 Conversations by Heather Holleman, and it was recommended to me by Laura. Laura had recently read it. It's not a very long book, just about deepening our conversations, and she read it, and Amy read it, and Amy gave it to Denise to read. So a lot of the people that I'm around on a regular basis are reading, have read it, and it was really interesting. I felt like I learned a lot. I felt a little overwhelmed because there's so much more I could do to put together good conversations with people. But I think it will help me going forward to feel like when I hit a roadblock with someone, that I have something else to ask. There were definitely, a list of questions in the back, which were great, but all of the groundwork that it laid about loving people, caring about them, trying to connect with them, actually ended up making all of that practical stuff at the end make a lot more sense. Nothing in it was super surprising as much as it was really just encouraging and, like I said, a little overwhelming, but it's the kind of book I might buy to keep on hand to work on. But there was a wait list because more people have heard about it, and so I had to turn it back in. I did finish it and I enjoyed it. So if you're looking for a way to make deeper connections with people, then I would highly recommend it.
The Broncos were playing Thursday night football this week, and so we decided we would do our part to help out the Broncos by preparing some turnovers. They didn't turn out great, but hey, what's important is that they were effective. So this week I was introducing some silver mollies to my tank, hopefully to clean up some of my algae issues. They're doing real good cleaning up the algae issues, but the problem is that my black molly was being kind of a bully. And so they were being chased down into the corners of the tank. And so I've put my black molly into a little bit of a timeout to basically let the silver mollies get some ownership of the tank. And then hopefully in a few days I'll be able to reintroduce the black molly and he won't feel like such an alpha male. On Saturday we got a chance to see our godson Hans play in a soccer game. His team played really well and Hans is the goalie, so unfortunately it means we didn't get a whole lot of shots of Hans actually playing. But it was fun to see the game. We got to hang out with Eric and Ellie, and it's been a few years since we've really got to spend much time with them. And after the game we decided to go out for breakfast. Hans was a little muddy, but Heidi decided to ride over to the restaurant with us. To finish the day off on Saturday, I finally moved the rest of the Bradley parts, so everything is now together in the storage unit.